Hey guys, Dr. Deuce, MTFUcoach.com. How are you? So I put up a list recently and I asked all the members, tell me which you have the most success with diets now, diet systems, things you see out there now that are presented all over the place. Keto, low carb, intermittent fasting, carb cycling, South Beach, vegan, paleo, vegetarian, zone, Atkins. There's some other ones. I'm going to focus on intermittent fasting in a second. Uh, I will say this. A lot of people can go to the gym and work really hard um, and really exert themselves, but most people seem to have more problems with the nutrition end of things. In fact, I see legions of people and they work out. Their effort is really pretty good, but you notice they never really kind of get hard or lean or more muscular or whatever their goal might be. And you talk to them and they always say, "Oh, my nutrition's on point." I can guarantee you it's the nutrition and it's not on point. You may think it is. You may not have the right knowledge, or you might just be, blowing smoke. Uh, Sometimes people want to find reasons to fail because when you're successful, there's higher responsibility with that. As far as intermittent fasting goes, you see that all over the place and all that. And listen, I'm not busting on any of these because I think if any of these programs a person embarks upon gets them to be at least more mindful of their health and their physicality and getting in better shape, that's good. And even if you're doing low carb, you're doing vegetarian, you're doing zone, Atkins, these overly restricted programs. Some of them are zero fat, some of them are zero carb. How long are you going to be able to do that for? Uh, Listen, you need fat. It lines all the cells in the body. It lines all the vessels. It's involved in many chemical reactions. Obviously, you need carbohydrate. You go on a zero carbohydrate diet. Listen, that's a relationship killer. So it's if it's something that you cannot do for 40 years, going back to intermittent fasting. A lot of guys will say, I eat twice a day. I've got the 6 hour window. It's fantastic. It cuts out a lot of the time I have to spend worrying about eating food. Look, I got out of practice, as you know, and changed professions. I now work sometimes 20 hours a day. Uh, and I travel a lot. But I made my business me. And I'm very focused in business. I have to be successful in business. So now my business is me, taking care of me. I get those 6 meals in every single day, no matter what, 24/7, 365, because I choose to, because I have to. And some people say, well, you work at home, you this and that. I go, listen, you're a human, I'm a human. It's not like I'm in some think tank splitting atoms and I'm Jesus' special child or something like that. We're both humans. It can be done if you're really focused and really serious about your goal that you hopefully already stated to me or to whomever. But again, that's when I'll switch over to supplements. I'm not big on supplements, but I will make sure every 3 hours, because the body works, thrives on regularity, and it works on circadian rhythms. I make sure I get the meals every 3 hours, and I stay 10% with very close to 10% all year. Right now, the goal is I know it's kind of cliche, but by January 1st, I'm going to be 6%. I've got to get leaner for the videos that I make because I'm not a big guy. So I've got to be really lean, like an anatomy chart. 10% is okay, 6% will be fantastic. Now, I say it's easy for me, but I got to tell you, there was a time when I was really off base with my eating. When I was in college, I had it in my head, and this was the 80s, that I want to be a really big, strong guy. And I walk around between 185 and 190 pounds, I'm 6 feet tall. Back in the day, you could actually win a contest, a bodybuilding contest with those dimensions, and I did. But I got up to about 240 pounds, and I was living at college, and I would go to the dorm cafeteria every day, and at lunch I would have 12 grilled cheese sandwiches with bacon. And all my other meals were kind of reflective of that. And I was eating, I don't know, 5,000 to 6,000 calories a day, and I got pretty fat. I guess bulky, but I was able to bench 300 pounds. For me, that was strong because I'm not a good bencher. I did a bench squat with 600 pounds, and I was deadlifting in the 400s. Now, guys that see me work out now, I'm 55 now. They'll say, "Who's that deuce of bullshitting? He's weak as fuck or whatever." Listen, most of you were either not born at this time or you barely had hair on your balls, so you weren't around. We were different back then, just like you're going to be a bit different 20 years from now. And because you're destroying yourself, you're probably going to be like some of my friends and have hip and knee replacements because you're going too heavy. That's going off track here a little. But I learned what was best for me. I learned how my body worked, and I go with lighter weights, and we've talked about that in other videos. But I also learned how my body responds to food and what works best for me. And I tried a lot of these different programs, but ultimately I had to find something that was manageable. Ask yourself with intermittent fasting, and I will tell you now, I don't think you can gain muscle with intermittent fasting if you're only feeding yourself twice a day. In fact, it's good to lose fat. Sure, you're going to lose weight, but you're probably going to lose more muscle than you ordinarily would if you were eating 5 to 6 times a day. There's just too many gaps in the eating, and some of the research and literature shows this to be true. In intermittent fasting, ask yourself this, and even with this list of programs right here, can you do any of these for 30 or 40 years? Because I've been doing what I do now for over 20, probably closer to 30. And I'm not overly mindful of what I do. And that's a very important point, being overly mindful. Being overly mindful is not good. This is second nature to me. I don't even think about it. Eating, I just eat for fuel. But if you're being overly mindful, like a client I had in my old nutrition clinic, she was fantastic. She had some OCD. I think OCD is kind of good for some people. But I had her weighing her foods, and what would she do? She'd literally, she'd be weighing oatmeal, and she'd take the flakes, one flake at a time, off the scale until it would balance out to where it had to be. Now, listen, that's being overly fastidious and overly mindful, and you're just punishing yourself, just dwelling on this stuff too much. Again, I'd rather you be more accurate because that is important, but are you going to do that until you're 75 or 80? No. So all of these programs right here, you get on them. And when you get on something, you're going to get off of it. So, I don't think there's any practicality there. I think you've got to find something that's manageable and doable and something you don't have to think twice about. And most of these programs here are fads. They come and they go. And just the fact that most people are on their 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th program, what does that tell you right there? You're not learning what's best for you, all right? I don't call my program anything because it's just me eating, all right? To partition something and to say that it's specific it's applicable to 7 billion physiologic souls on the planet, it's disingenuous. So please, learn what works for you. And shoot your questions, thoughts, comments, considerations below. This is a good, important topic. I know a lot about it, and my really smart friends know even more. So if I can't get you the answers, they can. So let's do it. Put your comments below. They are my oxygen. Dr. Mike Deuce, MTFUcoach.com. You have a great one, and I'll talk to you next time.